Foster parents are some of the most important members of our society, taking in children who have no parents or whose parents are estranged, taking on the vital role of stability for children that are in the most danger of becoming victims. It takes a big heart. It is not an easy job. I have the privilege of knowing many foster families, and it takes a lot of patience to become a foster parent. And so when Brian and Valerie Wilson decided that they wanted to do this, the last thing that they expected was to be told that they wouldn't be permitted to because they believe in our constitutional right to keep and bear arms. Joining me via Skype to tell us what happened are Brian and Valerie Wilson. Brian and Valerie, thank you so much for coming on the show. As I understand it, you first went out and you got your gun permit after you were the victim of an attempted home invasion. I mean, that sounds like what any regular person concerned about their safety would do. You went out and you got your permit, thought that was that. Yeah, you took training, and then you went through the foster parent process. Tell us about this.
Yes, thank you so much for having us. Yes, you got it exactly right. It was many years ago that we first started with concealed firearm permits. Probably 20 years now we're close to. And, fast forward 20 years later of this just being a normal part of our life of, carrying concealed firearms, looking out for our own safety, and we get through the process and we find out that we've been denied because we have a concealed firearm permit and lawfully carry a firearm.
You're not criminals. You haven't robbed anyone. You haven't done anything bad, except in the eyes of the state, you have a permit to carry. Did that surprise you? I didn't even know that this was a law until your case. I didn't even realize this was a law in Nevada.
I was absolutely shocked by it. I could not understand how the same exact state that is licensing us to carry this firearm is also telling us that we're unfit to be a foster parent because we carry the firearm. I was floored by it.
And it makes me wonder as well, I mean, if you had children in your home, if you had foster children in your home when you had a home invasion, how would you have been able to protect them? It seems, though, and Valerie, did you feel this way as well? Like the state was somehow saying, well, you're just too irresponsible. You can't be responsible enough to have a firearm and a child at the same time.
It makes no sense. If I was to have a child of my own, I'd be more than good enough to have a firearm with a permit, without a permit. It doesn't matter because I'm taking care of a foster child. Now all of a sudden, I'm not fit to be a mother. I've taken the background checks. I've taken the safety classes. I mean, it's all there. I have the safes in my house that we store the firearms in.
Right.
What else is there?
Right, yeah. And Brian, I didn't realize that the foster system in Nevada was just so light, that there were so few children in it, that the state could be so ridiculous such as this, as to deny a child, because I look at it not so much as you both were denied, but that a child was denied a loving and supportive home by the state for a ridiculous reason. I mean, what is the system like in Nevada? I'm curious as to whether it's like that in other states.
That's the most horrific part about this entire thing, is it's really not about my wife and I. There's 4,000 to 5,000 children in foster care in Nevada at any given time.
Oh, wow.
It's just in the small group of small parenting classes we have to take to get licensed, there was maybe 12 or 13 families in it. When this first came out, right there on the spot, 2 other families dropped out of the class because they knew they were going to have problems over this, lawfully carrying a firearm. You're losing a member that's ex-retired military. He can't be trusted either. It's
law enforcement.
We've got law enforcement, exactly. It's, they'll give an exemption to law enforcement to let them carry their firearm at work, but they can't carry a firearm when they're off duty. And for many police departments, they're required as part of their job to carry at all times, even when they are off duty.